It was 1966. The Chronicle Broadcasting Network launched a nightly newscast on a thrilling new medium that delivered voices and images through the airwaves to people's living rooms. Television. Those were the early years of Philippine TV, and The World Tonight was already on the air.
During that time, I was a reporter. I was servicing all our newscasts, but more specifically, Newsbreak and World Tonight. And World Tonight then was anchored by Henry Halasan. I remember we used to shoot 16mm film and develop it and have these negatives edited physically.
A team of respected broadcast journalists reported major national and world events and proved the power of television in shaping public opinion.
The competition was also fierce, but during that time, ABS-CBN was the largest network. The news was a service department. In other words, news was news. You produce the news stories, etc. We were not expected to earn money.
The World Tonight was there in the middle of it all.
It was a very, very tense period. The possibilities of the declaration of martial law was there. And media was also under extreme pressure. We performed adversarial role against corrupt officials, wherein our coverage of rallies and demonstrations in the streets were very critical because it was violence. And maybe it is for that reason that the first to be closed after the declaration of martial law was ABS-CBN.
I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law, martial law, martial law, martial law.
In 1986, People Power helped restore a free and independent media. And The World Tonight was back in a new, invigorated TV environment.
Good evening, I'm Angelo Castro Jr. with Loren Legarda and Ami Godinez for The World Tonight broadcast nationwide.
The World Tonight resumed its telecast in 1986. It was historic in the sense that the first telecast was at the crossroads of the nation's history, transition from a dictatorship to the restoration of the democratic institution.
We wanted it to be a responsible program. We wanted to showcase analysis, a 360-degree view of issues and news developments that affect everyone.
I was working as a young reporter, producer, young journalist, aspiring to enter international media at the time in Los Angeles, California, when Mr. Eugenio Lopez asked me whether I was interested to come back to the Philippines and join the news department. And it was Larry Nang and myself who were the anchors at the time until it became Angelo Castro Jr.
We were challenged because after so long, viewers were now able to watch real news, uncensored news as it really was. It was a very difficult process because we didn't have any equipment. In fact, at first, World Tonight couldn't air live because we didn't have sufficient facilities.
The only thing we had before was a character generator, which we used for our lower thirds. But the over-the-shoulder graphics, we used actual illustration boards.
Nobody complained because we enjoyed what we were doing.
My very, very first anchoring job was with The World Tonight as business anchor. It was a big break for me. Although, of course, in the end, it was tough because I was not just the business anchor. I was also the special reports reporter.
I joined The World Tonight in 1992. I was taken in as the sports anchor. That time, kasi sports was not so much in the forefront. Like, I had to fight for my stories all the time.
And I was also covering political events. There was so much political upheaval. And one of the most memorable was the bloodiest attempt against the Cory Aquino government.
Sometimes we wouldn't even go home for several days because we were holed up. These facilities were surrounded by military men.
We were always overtime because we had so many commercials and we would complain that we would go home late and we were rating.
I remember there was also this healthy competition between TV Patrol and World Tonight for a time in the 90s that was very well defined. TV Patrol was our tabloid primetime newscast, but the World Tonight was a different show altogether. It was an alternative show.
And what was really, really beautiful and what I really, really liked about The World Tonight is you had the time to write a well-produced story that when it's aired in The World Tonight, very well executed yung storya mo.
The essence of that program has always been the news stories that we gather, that we air with so much care.
We treat each other not only as co-workers, but really as friends. And
We were like a family. We loved our work. It was our passion.
I remember after the newscast, we would all go out to eat and drink and like solve the problems of the world.
We were all struggling, we were all trying to help each other because we wanted to come up with a great show every night.
In 1997, The World Tonight faced another big change.
I transferred to ABS not to do The World Tonight but to work with Gina Lopez as the program director of Bantay Bata. Senator Loren Regalde at that time had plans of running for the Senate in 1997.
I was a reluctant candidate when then President Fidel Ramos asked me to join his senatorial slate.
Some of the officers had asked me, why don't I just do it in the meantime that Loren was campaigning. Of course, she won. I was asked to stay. So when I came on board, it was with Angelo Castro Jr. We stayed on, and you had a commitment coming from the producers and the staff and the cameramen and the reporters and the network itself that it wanted to keep an English newscast. I remember my first day. It was closing time after the final word, and he said, "So it's nice to have you. How was it?" I wasn't ready to tell my story. I said, I think the people don't want to listen to what I have to say. I just like to say thank you and good night.
TV became more popular than ever. The broadcast industry innovator ABS-CBN launched another medium, cable. The World Tonight found a new home in the ABS-CBN News Channel, the country's first and only cable news channel.
I did the news with Tina, and then when it moved to ANC, Tina and ACJ na.
Angelo Castro Jr., veteran broadcast journalist and anchor of The World Tonight, has passed away.
This is the final word. True goodbyes are the ones never said or explained. I will miss you, kid.
Angelo Castro was a force of nature. We learned a lot from him. He was very creative.
He's very generous as a mentor. He was the one who taught me.
he was one person that would really sharpen you. I got my baptism of fire from Angelo. I need to really thank him for that.
Very helpful, and I understand that he has helped so many of his co-workers.
And he told us that what's important is to deliver the news clearly and with fairness because you owe it to your audience.
He was a funny guy. He was a good friend, but often misunderstood.
He had gravity, seriousness. He wasn't trying to squeeze the news for something that would be shocking or entertaining. He was just telling you this is what was happening.
He was actually with ABS before martial law. We've been through a lot together. He took over the reins of news and from there grew into a position with World Tonight. That voice of his and that stature that he had, that look that has never been duplicated since, I think that is very much the visage of the World Tonight.
Today, 50 years since it first went on air, The World Tonight continues doing what it has done all these years, delivering news and information riding on the crest of technological innovation.
The public, through The World Tonight, will get no exaggeration, just exactly what it does.
The World Tonight is one of the few news programs that have earned the respect of its audience.
It's a product that's kind of a rarity. That's why it has run for 50 years.
There's a certain class to The World Tonight. The way the news is delivered.
It's almost entirely the quality of the people who host it. I mean, the anchors.
It was the people who started it and the people who still run it to this day and the commitment of the station and the owners and the management that it keep this brand alive to this day.
And it served its purpose through the various iterations that the company has gone through, from pre-martial law to post-martial law.
The World Tonight believes that the truth shall make us free.
World Tonight was always a great experience for me. It was in World Tonight that I learned broadcast journalism.
No matter what, you must come up with the news. You must come up with something that's worthy of the people's viewership.
It really made me what I am today.
It's so satisfying to be part of a lot of the events that one day became historic and one day became known as turning points in the life of this country.
We were partly reporting the news, but we were also living the history of the day.
Every night from Monday to Friday, we were in the living rooms of the Filipino people. And I'm proud that somehow I have been a part of this program that has helped mold the Filipino nation.
In the next 10 years, we're going to see many changes to the news format. Technology will continue to change, and I think we will see World Tonight, if it is successful, transform itself into something that goes beyond television and that will be part of the digital realm. It is a very strong brand name. It is a very strong recall, and we hope that as long as it continues to have iconic personalities that people trust and believe in, it will make the transition to the digital realm.
In all honesty and in all fairness, I can say that in my 30 years with ABS-CBN, I was at my happiest when I was executive producer of The World Tonight.
In this world of television, it is highly unusual for a show to survive as long as you have. I think it is a singular accomplishment and something that we should all really be very proud of. So congratulations to World Tonight.
As The World Tonight celebrates its golden year in 2016, it's seen on cable and the internet, TV screens and mobile devices by an audience that spans the globe. The most trusted names in Philippine broadcast, TJ Manotoc, Kathy Yang, Teddy Boy Locsin, Tony Velasquez, and Tina Monzon Palma bring you the events that matter from a uniquely Filipino perspective, connecting generations and crossing continents, providing the broad understanding of what's happening around the world as only the most seasoned news program can.
This is Orly Mercado.
I'm Diane Castillejo.
I'm Ces Orenia Drilon. This is Loren Legarda.
I'm Tina Monzon Palma.
I'm Angelo Castro Jr., Philippines. Thank you and good night. Mabuhay!
The World Tonight.